Arganissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.arganissima.com. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty.
Coming up next is Double Impact.
Well, welcome back to the iHealth channel, iHealth Radio, and the NBC Network. And I'm your host, Hurricane H. With me today is
host John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And together, we are
Double Impact. There you go. Well, hello. This is the Double Impact we've been waiting for. You've been waiting for. We've been announcing. And this is going to be an hour or I'm not even sure how long the time is going to be, but we're going to make it worth your while.
It'll be worth your while. It's going to be priceless. I can guarantee you that. You're not going to find this anywhere else.
We're going to have fun. This is literally Double Impact for real. and you can see, John here with his, famous, I would say, CAB, believe and achieve as his concept. And you know what? You got to believe to achieve or believe and achieve at the same time.
A lot of people, think they're actually believing. And like, why can't I achieve? It's real simple. Because you're actually eluding yourself. You're not really believing. You think you are, but you're not. So you got to believe, not here only, got to believe here in your heart. And you got to connect these two together. Because if they're not together, I'm sorry, the song's just not going to work.
You got to believe in your dream. You got to believe in everything. You got to really actually not only believe it. I mean, you really have to visualize it. It has to be there. You're seeing it. You're living it. You can actually just close your eyes, not even seeing exactly where you need to be. And that's exactly the difference where you can succeed versus not succeed.
Now, the one thing I tell you is that a lot of people say every day, I visualize. Well, why am I not getting anything? I'm visualizing $1 million. Why am I not getting it? Okay. So there's a catch, right? No, there isn't an extra $9.95 you have to buy. The modules will include, I promise. So you basically are visualizing. You're doing a great job. Maybe you're not feeling it enough in your heart. You think you are, but you're not. You're not living, breathing, sleeping, and envisioning that success. Okay. I don't mean to just think about it. And when you do this, now, some people, if you're new to this, you're going to have to go easy on the alcohol. You have to do a little bit of time because we don't want you to get drunk. But seriously, your body's not going to be ready for it, right? So you've got to adapt to becoming successful. What do you mean? Well, it might be too much for you. So you got to take it in time and you got to take it in strides, because if you do that, then your body is going to be like, oh, okay, I can do the mini victory, but I can't do the master victory. But why are people not manifesting? It's really simple. They don't feel it. But you know what else they don't do? They don't listen to that inner voice. Yeah, that inner voice. It says, oh, you know what? You should go check this out. Oh, well, like what happened? No, you should. I got a feeling. And people think that, well, I was here. I waited. No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for success. It's going to happen. Well, you got three signs. You remember the story many years ago. There was a person that was stuck in the well. They fell in. And let's say it's a story with God or what have you, the master creator. And so let's say Jacob's in there, but unfortunately he dropped his ladder. So it doesn't have a ladder. And a person comes along, let's say name is Bob, and Bob says, oh, I got a rope for you. No, I'm waiting. Somebody's going to save me. 5 minutes later, Joseph comes along. Hey, I want to get you out of there. I have an idea. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this chain and you're going to grab onto it. No, I'm good. Somebody's coming for me. Third person comes. This is Michael. Michael comes with an idea that he's going to fill the hole with these things so that as he fills the hole, good idea. You can keep stepping, and eventually there'll be no hole in it, right? You're going to fill the hole up. It's a great idea. Fourth person comes and says, I'm here to save you. Great. No. I'm all set. No, I'm going to save you. How are you going to save me? Well, I'm coming in with my helicopter and we're going to just kind of fish you out. And then he leaves and doesn't save him. And then God or Master Creator comes and says, Lord God, when are you going to save me? I've been begging. I've been praying for you. I've sent you 4 people. I sent you a ladder. I sent you a rope. I sent you string. I sent you a guy that was going to spend time putting boxes down there. And you didn't take any of their help. Well, I just figured that you were going to come personally and save me. You see, people expect things to come in that little package, that container, but they're not going to come in the package that you expect. And that's why they miss the relationship. They miss the business. They miss the money. No. I don't want to get the money that way. No. The money has to come from this way. Can't do that.
John, I guess we started nicely there. Yeah, but it is true though. I mean, I love the analogy and the story. That you made it a little fun there. But the fact of the matter, to your point, is this. I mean, you're right. People are waiting for something to happen, or they have a certain expectation that it's going to be a certain way. But it can come in very different ways. The key here is you have to see it. You just got to take the chance. You got to take whatever is thrown at you to make it happen. And to your point, you said it, it has to be in your heart. You have to live it. You feel it, you dream with it, you wake up with it, you sleep with it, you eat with it. It's all there. You're sitting and you're thinking about it at all times. It manifests. But if you're just remote, it's just an idea. I mean, ideas are a dime a dozen. Everybody has them. Literally everybody has plenty of them. And by the way, they're all great ideas, but the only idea is as long as they stay there, you materialize them, you make them work, and you act on them. You take the steps, whatever those steps are, small ones to begin with, and also visualize when that next step is going to be. How far is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you? How much is it going to cost you? And that's the other thing. Sometimes we worry, well, I need to have everything ready before I do that. That's a big mistake. I find it like, everybody wants everything to be in line to get started, whatever they want. You start and then everything is going to line up. Believe me, I in my personal world, my experience for everything I do, it's always that. I just start, and then the idea and then
it just kind of comes,
exactly.
Synchronicities kind of happen.
Well, here's a good example, John. Us. I would say this is a good example, right? We stumbled on each other. We had a show. It was nice. We had a good time. We had lunch, and actually we missed
dinner,
the first one. Dinner. I missed the first one. That was on me. And then I made it up, and then we caught up, and then we had the discussion. Yes. And the discussion was, let's do something together and make it worthwhile, for our audiences, yours and mine, and hopefully we can double impact, the ideas and really make it work. And we were just debating on what the discussion would look like, and this is it. It's really, we're going to talk about different things. And they're going to make sense to you. And some may not even make sense. Doesn't matter. We're going to try to put them on the table and you take whatever you want. We're going to give you a buffet.
Right. Like the tarot card readers say, this is a general reading and it may not apply for everyone, even if you're in that sun sign. Just take what resonates and throw the rest away. I saw a great saying today. Amazing. And it said, we all need a camera. And we take a picture, right? So we should focus on the positives and take that picture of our life. However, let's take the negatives, discard them, and work on the lesson that we actually can learn from it and build upon our life.
That's deep.
That was very deep. That hit me this morning.
Well, it is deep. And you know what? That is actually a good way to really look at life in a way, because that's life. I mean, you're going to have that. That's exactly what happens every day to everyone. We wake up, there's a lot of things that happen. There's some negative, there's some positive. We got to just work with all that. And, every single thing that happens to us, there's good in it. We just have to figure out what that is. And at best, it will be a bad experience, and you learn from it. And now it's a bad experience, so you're not going to do it, or at least you're going to teach somebody not to get into it. But the fact is, you've learned something, or you can dwell about it and cry and just be miserable and stress out, and then life goes on, and now it's not working. It doesn't work.
A very interesting point to your allude there is that, every single day, things are going to happen to us, right? Things are going to happen to us. That's not what affects success of a man or woman. What dictates the success of a person is how he or she chooses to respond, as that shapes their character into what comes into their lives.
I want to take that. I want to sink that in for a minute.
All right. Okay. No problem. Take that in.
All right. It's in. it's in the DNA right now. It's got stamped in there. That's it. This is like a what do you call it? A vaccine. That's a vaccine against the life pandemic, the real thing. And I'm making a dumb analogy here about the vaccine and all the stuff, but really, I mean, you think about it, right? Life happens, and sometimes it could be tragic, could be a lot of things, and it's sometimes it hurts, it's tough, but you need to have something to counteract that, right? And you got to use these techniques, use these words, use these analogies, whatever logics, to help you get through this. And again, that gives you a booster, right? That's your booster for your system. Keeps you going and motivated in life. And you know what? Listen, folks, I know everybody has their struggle. There is no one that can tell you otherwise. I don't care if you're rich, you're poor, it doesn't matter. And by the way, those are just expressions. Define rich, define poor. I mean, someone can have no money but be very rich in their knowledge, their health, and everything else, and they'd be content. Somebody can have super money and not have the other stuff, right? So rich here can be just a matter of perception of who you are and what you expect in life. But at the end of the day, whatever that is, whatever your spectrum is, you should have your own convictions, and you have to work with things. But things will happen, to your point, John. And you got to deal with them. You got to roll up the sleeves and just kind of deal with it and duke it out.
You got to roll your sleeves up absolutely every day. But when you think about these things that are happening, a perfect example. I had somebody the other day, I was online, and a person's trying to sell me some project or something to be more efficient, whatever. And so I responded back to them. Thank you for reaching out. This is a cold solicitation. You obviously didn't read my profile. Actually, I have more work than I can handle, and I'm trying to get more people that can help me. So I don't need any more business, but I actually need more people to get the work that I already have done. So if you could help me with that, then maybe we could have a conversation. He went away. And I think a lot of these people, and the reason I bring this up is that, if you let yourself fall into that, about 20 minutes after that happened, feeling great, an idea hit me. Didn't know what to do with it yet. I was on the phone with one of my clients, just as a courtesy call, seeing how things are going. Not really a sales call, but kind of a fact-finding call to see, well, gee, what can we quote you on in a friendly way without really saying that? And it was about an hour and a half call. No charge for the call because I knew I'd get valuable information. It wound up that I found 3 or 4 major pain points that they have and 3 or 4 other companies they know have. I said, gee, would you help me out? We've done work with you well. What would it take to get you to maybe talk about us to some other clients? Oh, John, that's kind of tough. And I said, yeah, but why don't we do it informally? Like maybe like around the fire, or maybe when you're having a drink or something. So I guess I could do that informally outside the company. I could do that. Yeah. Like the boys, just talk with them and say, talk to John. See, he's got well, if you could solve this pain point, right? I know he's going to want to talk to you. So this happened within 30 minutes of me telling this guy. So what you put into your mind's like, okay, I got to show you that this is true. Mm-hmm. And it happens time and time again. Don't even try to dispute it. But if you believe with all your conviction, things just magically happen.
Well, I wouldn't even say magically. I'd say they just happen.
They manifest. I say magic because the chemical reaction, an electrical reaction in our brain, our body takes that thought of something that was already there that I didn't have the connection with. And suddenly I took something, went to them, I'm like, I know what I could do for that. Well, I know what that problem is. Well, you need this as well. You're right. We do need that as well. And the thing I was originally calling them to talk about, yeah, we definitely need that too. And then the person said to me, John, we get X dollars from X. I said, well, that's great. He says, yeah, I shouldn't tell you that, but we get X for this. And I was like, okay, so we have more than enough money to buy these things. And we're not only just going to need them for our business, our sister company, we do everything the same way. So we're going to need to buy a duplicate of that. And when I was calling the company to source this and talk about them, and I was just talking about one little product, what if I bought two? And he said, I could do this price as well. I said, well, I kind of lied to you because we're not buying two things. We're actually going to buy four. I hope that's okay because this company wants to do everything in duplicate. So we'd be doing 4 orders. Is that okay? Yeah. Like how long? I said, within 2 or 3 months. I said, you probably don't get people that buy mobile. I said, and we're even coming up with a plan to figure out how to sell these to other people that have the same pain. Would that be okay if we sold more of this product? Oh, by the way, could you give us a discount, like a not for resale discount, so we could play with it ourselves, like a deep discount? Yeah, we might be able to do that. Like, it was like, he was just like, it was kind of like he was like half asleep in one way. And I didn't expect that hour-and-a-half phone call to possibly turn into me writing 3 quotes, at least not today. So I guess you just never know when something's going to happen, just like with social media or, when I did the video with the flag that got 98,000.4 views. But I think it's about your persistence and it's about your feeling. And when other people, I don't want to say they can just see it, but they can feel it, even if we're here virtually. They can sense our passion. You could tell people we're passionate all day. They're like, yeah, so what? But they can feel it. They can hear it. They can know that we're charged in helping people have a better life.
Well, that is a fact. As a matter of fact, I think both of us on both sides of the spectrum here,
I'm sure we proved that when we met in person. I mean, meeting online is one thing, but then when we met in person, and you can't really BS in person. I mean, you have to kind of either be it or not.
That's right. Well, but again, but to your point, the energy, right? The truth of the matter is that you have your conviction to help people. I have the same. We do the same thing from different, angles. You do this on your side in your business, your day to day. I do this as well. And you know what? That's why, again, double impact was the idea of having that double impact, literally, and really just bring it to you. But you said something about doing it, feeling it, right? Well, here's a good example. Actors, right? They can manifest any emotion, any given time. I mean, they think it, they become them, that role, whatever that role, the character, they get into it. If you want them to cry, they just start thinking that they're into that same exact situation, and they'll start crying. They can share with you, and you can see it emotionally. I mean, and they can literally project it. And that's any one of us, we can do that. And you don't have to be an actor to do that. You just have to really feel the emotion. You have to be in it, to actually get it to, it's funny. This is a true story. I did an audition, and, I was just testing it out and see if I'm going to be able to get into, I guess, shows. I mean, that was before this. And I was doing that. So I got into this director, like, the recruiting guy, and the casting person. And so he gave me this 2-minute line, whatever. It was like a 2 or 3, it was one sentence or a couple, like one paragraph. Okay. I forgot it was just a couple lines. And it was just, and this scenario was about a role where I was a host at a store or something. And we're talking about some wines, and he gave me a couple of things. And that was it. That was kind of like the line. So I had my line and I had to do it and portray exactly that. So I did it, like literally I read that thing and I did it. And he's like, can you do that again? And I did it again. He's like, damn. Like, how did you do that? I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't act it. You told me this is what you're supposed to be doing, and I just did. I just had to know what I would say, and that's it. The line was what I would say. The rest was history. He just gave me the picture. So I saw myself in the store with a guy, and I showed him exactly what's on the shelves.
You became what we call in character.
That's right.
I know a long time ago when I was in college, or not too long ago, one of the professors had this in character I'll call experiment, class, whatever. But the experiment was at his place. So about 5 or 6 of us from the English or drama class went to his place for that weekend. And we all had to be in character the entire time. And the minute you drop out of character, you had to leave. And it was funny because people were doing different things. And one time somebody was baking something, and the lady, she almost burned her hands like, well, gee, golly whiz. Oh my gosh, what a Mabel am I gonna do with my finger? It's must be burning. Another person picked up and they go, oh, what? And they said, it was like, that's out of character. Get out.
Ouch.
Or another one came in and they had a cell phone, and grandma's calling to see you. Where are you? You're late, this and that. And he's trying to he's talking, but she's not understanding. Why are you talking like that? It's like, Grandma, I have to go. I'm doing this thing. Out of character, gone. So I think when you get into character, a lot of things come to play. When we get into character in our life, there's a good analogy of this is, every day we need to suit up, whether it's a jacket, tie, a shirt, bathing, whatever. We have to suit up, not just with our clothes, but with our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And to put on not a false image, but the image we want. And I think the best thing, there was a day not too long ago, it was called National Compliment Your Mirror Day. And this is the best advice I can give people is stand in front of that mirror, be with conviction, and tell yourself you're going to do something. And there's something about that mirror and you seeing yourself. It's like, it's this weird thing, but I believe that character is important. And when you know your character, Hurricane, it's like you could do or be anything. A perfect example, you guys know that I was 249 pounds about 6, 7, 8 months ago, a year ago. And I had this passion for a long time to want to lose weight. I went through 7 trainers. No offense to them. 3 of them are out of business. They were insulting me. They were being nasty to me. They were telling me I don't want to lose weight. And I said, I can't do this.
Wow.
So I'd stop. I'd go back. I'd still, you'd gain a little, but you weren't really losing. You were kind of like, you were floating, but you weren't really losing much. Gain a pound, lose a pound. You weren't really gaining much. We weren't losing much either. And so I think it was around Thanksgiving time that I decided to take this seriously. I said, well, how can I do this? Because it's not stop eating. It's getting a little more educated about it. So I decided that I need to log my food, which that helped, but it wasn't the kicker. It was like a teaser. I bought this device online, which I hadn't used for 2 years, which I have right here in my pocket. No, it's not a vape. But what I do is I hold it for 10 seconds and then I swear I'm not vaping. So I do that 1 or 2 times, and there's an app for that. So that tells you what I'm actually burning. Am I burning fat or am I burning carbs? If I have a lot of CO2 coming out, that means I'm burning carbs and not fat. And if I have very low CO2, that means I'm burning fat. But you don't want to stay fat burner all the time. You want to alternate back and forth, almost like an exercise of your body going back and forth. And so I just did it. Didn't really have much to it. I said, gee, I want to lose weight. I'm going to be healthy. This is where I want to be. And I just said, you know what? I forget the time limit. Like if it happens, when it happens, it's going to happen when it's ready. I did my planking at night, in the morning. And then, I don't know, I started to notice clothes getting looser. I'm like, it's probably just a belt. And then I'm noticing that people are saying, like, you lost weight? I'm like, I don't know. I went on the scale. I'm like, oh, geez, 184 pounds. Like, what the heck? What happened? I was like, I guess I must have lost some weight. People say, are you okay? You feeling okay? I'm like, what? I don't look good. No, you look great, but where'd the other half of you go? What do you mean? Well, like, what happened to? Well, I guess lost some weight. Oh my gosh, like I didn't even recognize you. So the point I'm making is I wanted to do this for quite a few years because of the stupid cell phone having this clip, and it kept getting knocked off of my belt when I got in the car, the phone. And that's an annoyance, right? So we either do things for 2 reasons, to avoid pain or gain pleasure. That's why the hospitals are so busy these days. I wish they were trying to give people pleasure, but they're trying to get people out of pain. So I said, gee, I wish I could just stop this annoyance. And so if I lost weight, I don't know what I'm going to do that. And then that happened. I said, I said to myself, if I can lose weight, then I changed it. When I lose weight, I changed it because I was so, I could do anything. Anything's possible. And then I lost the weight and I'm like, oh, wow. I guess I got to really put up or shut up. I said I could do anything. So I got to be able to do this. And I'm doing these crazy things. Like I've always done baking and stuff before, but I started getting more into it, making excuses to get more creative. Not that I wasn't creative already, but I just kept making excuses to not making excuses. Like people make excuses to not do something. Well, I made excuses to do something, which is a good problem to have. And so the reason I share this with you, if there's something in your life, some conviction in your life that you're having a challenge with, find something a little smaller and then make a commitment to yourself. Write it out, visualize it, really feel it in your mind, your heart. Tell other people about it if you want. And think about yourself living, as Neville Goddard said, the wish fulfilled. I fall asleep to the wish fulfilled every night, and I wake up to the wish fulfilled. And it's secretly, I call it magically, gives my brain ideas for things that they might be there, but it just gets the synapse and the connections in my brain to form more pathways. And when that happens, my brain has access to this information. It's the same information, but now there's more ways to get there. And so I can reference things a lot easier. And I started realizing that if I could do this, I could do anything. And so if you can have that minor victory in your life, well, it's only minor, celebrate it and say to yourself, when I do that, or when I do this victory, I could do anything. And when that happens, I'm going to warn you, you're going to start creating miracles in your life. Like, so watch what you wish for. And people around you are going to be like, what's wrong with you? And then I adapted this philosophy a long time ago. It's called love me, hate me, like me, love me, or hate me. I don't care. Now, not to be rude, but it's to be, you got to be your own best friend first. I have lots of friends, but you got to be your own best friend first. And if somebody challenges me and says, hey, I like, okay, fine. Thanks for sharing that with me. Or anybody say something like, that's an interesting statement you made. I was just curious if you'd mind sharing it with me. And they'd look at me like, have a great day. So I think when you get confident in yourself, Hurricane, it changes the energy, not only in your body, but the energy that people pick up, which they can pick up with you within 3 feet.
Ouch. John, so here's the thing. I mean, I'm listening to you, and obviously, we're sending a message to our audience. Mm-hmm. But really a couple of things that came to mind. First of all, I would say ouch to those trainers that actually kind of put you down instead of putting you up. In terms of, because half of the battle,
couple of them are out of business already.
Well, but half of the battle. Well, obviously it's not working out.
They insulted me because I didn't want to buy their stupid fulfillment things, which I didn't need their bottles of fulfilling. You have to do that. No, I'm not doing
that. That's tacky. But here's the thing, right? If you want to motivate somebody, you don't demotivate them and expect it to have a adverse reaction. It doesn't work that way. Part of the journey is you got to get that psyche going, right? If you tell people like you demotivated them up front, that's it. It's over. I'm no good. I can't do this. That's bad. So for people
I'm the best trainer in the world, and you're going to follow me because I've trained this person. Like, yeah, and I own 4 gyms. This is my 4th gym I own.
Well, okay. That's great. Good luck. I mean, good luck with the 5th. But the bottom line is, John, John, is this, right? If, and this is for all of us out there, whether we train, whether in business or in fitness, whatever, you want to push people positively. And, not everybody is going at the same pace. Not everybody's going to the same, speed, and you have to understand your audience. Not, that's the other part. I talk to you, John, and I see you have a different need. Doesn't mean I have to apply the same rules that I've applied with everybody. I do martial arts all my life, right? And so when you train different people, you're not given the same impact that you're literally doing with the white belt, for example, to orange or red or brown or black belt, right? Different levels. Demand different things, dictate different things. At business too, you're talking to someone that is novice, just starting, not someone that experienced. You have to help them differently. In fitness, somebody has a different weight, different age. You got to treat them differently. You have to give them something different. So again, you have to adapt to the situation and analyze it. And there's not a one paintbrush in a stroke and it's everybody's the same. It doesn't work that
like
way.
A chameleon, Hurricane.
Exactly.
Like a
That was
chameleon.
that was my nickname when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I adapt to everything and I change and I almost like you can tell. I mean, I'm a theme guy. Like everything has to be themed. So, but that was literally when when I was a kid. That's my nickname when my fellow kids called
We'll
me.
come up with a drink that we'll each have to have a double impact drink, even if it's alcoholic or not. I'll have a double impact drink.
Hey, listen, double impact could be both. Well, so but I wanted to say something. Going back to the character piece, right? We
Yes.
are characters. Life is a stage, and we are characters.
Yes.
You're listening. You are a character. And I don't mean it in a negative way. You are a character in a this divine stage that we all call life, and we all have our own roles in it, and we can switch roles in this thing, and we can select some roles as well. That's the thing that we have in here that sometimes you don't think about. And it's funny you said about being in character. So my first job, official job, was at Walt Disney World, right?
Okay.
And so when I was hired, part of the training is that they literally tell you, they drill this in you, not just tell you, you're on stage and you're backstage. So you
Yes.
you get off the when there's I don't know if you've been there. I mean, you've probably been there.
I took the Disney business program and I took the Disney cast when I was only allowed to. I went through Disney University.
So did I.
Holy
No
gee, I just did it
shit.
for fun.
Well,
I didn't work there though.
I did. Well, no, you took it to the college program.
Yep. And I took even before that, I took it. Yeah, it was in college. That's right. Yes,
Yeah. So I did the international college program. So that's similar. So we had the 3 months, business courses, and that's I did the theme parks, but you know how it is, right? On stage, backstage. So once you're in that stage, it doesn't matter if you had a fight in the back, your spouse
come
kicked
out
you,
and smile.
you come out
on stage.
That's right. Smile. The magic happens. Well, guess what?
Make sure you have your right costume on because that's where we pop up under the tunnels because we can never be in Tomorrowland if we're in another costume. We can't walk there. We have to just pop up magically.
That's right. That's right. Everything. I mean, it's a whole world underneath. I mean,
yes.
People don't even know how that thing spreads under the castle, right? But really, it's an experience. But talking about character, talking about in character, talking about on stage, you are constantly on stage. You always perform. And you perform every day, and that's who you need to be, and your performance can shift. And believe it or not, you all have the capabilities of changing and shifting and really resetting yourselves. It's not. By the way, the mistake that we talk about when we mentioned the example of acting, actors don't act. Actors become the character.
Yes,
they role play the role. They become the role. They don't just if you act. And this another story, true story. Again, I was actually on a what do you call it, an extra in a movie. And
okay.
The director actually, there was a scene. I was literally on the center of that scene, and I made some faces, and I got really really reprimanded by the director. He said, "Dude, are you trying to act?" It was a freezing day, and literally my face was just shaking. That was too cold, and I'm like. I was literally at 21. I was like, "Sir, I apologize. I just can't stop my face from shaking." And he said, "Oh, you're not supposed to be acting." I'm like, "I'm not acting." but the fact is, you don't act. You want to be it. You don't want to take anything. It has to be natural. But you can do it if you become the role.
Acting. That's the same thing what they say about abundance. Is that people say, "How do I be abundant if I don't have $1 in my wallet?" And you guys know that I do this. I think I did on your show. And I'll do it again when I was a guest. But I have a $5. You can have a 10, a 50. Doesn't really matter what you have.
Oh, you didn't do it last time.
I didn't do this with you. Okay, I did it with a lot. I did. Okay, I forget what show I've done because I've done it on so many shows. But I do it every. So basically, I take this bill. You can see it's a $5 bill, pretty ordinary bill. There's no magic here. All right, you look at the bill. You feel the paper. Feels really great. Good paper. Okay, take that bill. This is Abe. You take that bill. Bring it to your nose. I am one to abundance with money. I am one to abundance with money. I am one to abundance with money. Now, you take this bill, and if you don't have 5, get $1. If not, go borrow one from a friend of yours. I'm sure he'll give you $1 bill. So then you do this as a ritual. Maybe every time you get in your car, every time you get to a new destination. I do it every time I try to a different destination. And when you do that, it makes you grateful. And so grateful is another important thing. But the reason I bring this up is that abundance is a feeling. People say, "Well, gee, I don't have money." I don't have my bowling alley yet. I don't have my sauna yet. I don't have my indoor outdoor swimming pool. I get it. Let's be grateful for all the things you have and feel abundant with this bill or with the water, with things in your life. And feeling abundance will naturally cause energy to attract more into your life.
Well, John, you're talking about being really grateful for things that you have. And I would say this to everybody watching and listening right now. If you think you're poor, you're wrong. You are a millionaire the day you were born. Because you will not sell any of your organs for all the money in this world. Well, maybe some people have done that for, disastrous, reasons. But but really, the average person listening and watching would not want to give anything from their body to anyone, even if they're given the whole world's money. That's because everything that you have is valuable. You are valuable.
Right.
Every single thing that you have as a blessing, whether it's eyesight, the ability to breathe, to listen to, many people would actually give any money they have to just gain back the hearing, for example, right? You can't get it back if you lose it. I actually had a short episode of loss of smell and taste throughout COVID. And it lasted long. And until today, I have not regained 100% my capabilities smelling and tasting the way I did.
Not yet.
Before.
Okay.
Almost 2 years, but literally, I'm back, but like, I know it's not 100%. Like, there are things that I cannot smell, or cannot taste the same way. And that sensation, the feeling that I am not at the 100% is just, something that I cannot get back. And it's amazing. Right.
But smelling salts,
yeah.
smelling salts. You take a little smelling salts, that'll open up like any.
Really?
Yes. What it is there's a blockage up here. And so when you get that, there's the olfactory nerve. It'll basically release the pressure on that nerve, and it will be able to you just want to take a little bit of it and you keep it away, not right here. You just want to keep it here. And then you'll like, it'll be like you're in a high.
All right. Well, I'm going to try that. But again, thank you for that, John. But really, the reason I'm giving this example is just that when you lose something that is of value, nothing can give it back to you. And we are billionaires, trillionaires. I don't even want to put a number to who we are and what we are as humans, right? And so don't think that the material stuff is what makes you rich. You are rich by birth. Whoever you are, whatever you are, you have everything that you need. And abundance, as you said, it doesn't have to be a lot. Yes, we all strive for good things, for material life stuff. Let's call it for what it is. We all want a good life. But again, that good life can still be different from one person to the other. Someone would rather live in a cabin in the woods and just hunt and do their own thing and live, naturally without having to have, luxuries of TV and stuff. Someone wants to live in a mansion. It doesn't matter. Whatever suits you, whatever actually rocks your boat, do it. That's okay. Work towards whatever that dream or that goal is, but know that you are the value that you want to be. No one can take that away from you. And that's actually, if you're grateful for what you have, and again, your family, your health, your friends. If you have friends, you have family, you have a good health, you have, good eating habits, you have, you a good lifestyle, whatever it is that suits you, that you live with happily every day. You have a job. Some people don't have a job. You don't like the job, change the damn job. It's okay. But you know what? You have what it takes. Know that you have the ability. Don't think and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's the other part. We have sometimes people in our circles, and you said something earlier, John, where you have to be the best friend for yourself first, right? You have a lot of friends. But exactly, number one, if you don't believe in yourself, you're the only one that's going to believe in you more than you is you.
and I mentioned many times before that you got to not be afraid to bring your A game.
That's right.
You have to bring that A game, because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. And the reason I say that is a lot of people are going to try to get you to not bring your A game. A couple people, one or two people. If you don't have two or three people that are like they're a little bit against you, or they're a little bit like on the fence, I'd worry, because that means you're not being the best you can be. When you're all over the place, in a sense that, people are like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Like what's going to happen next? you want people not in fear of their lives, but you want people to have a little bit of a like, what are they up to? Like, what's he up to? Like, what's going on?
Mhm.
And that's what tells you that you're able to keep growing. You want to be different. You want to be unique. And I think a lot of people out there just want to grab a ticket, sit in the movie theater, but they want to be passive, right? You got to be active. Life is meant to be lived. It's not meant to just sit and watch a movie.
If you do, John, it will pass quick, and you'll be like, "What the hell just damn happened? I just slept through the whole."
Yeah,
thing.
like what happened to me? Like where did I go? What did I do? And somebody else said something very wise. Bob Proctor. He said something very, very wise. He was in the movie The Secret. But what he said is very interesting. He said two very interesting things. One, fire can be used to help, like cook our food, and it can be used to cause destruction. So they're tools in our lives. It's how we choose to utilize a tool, a weapon, fire, water, whatever it is. We have to learn and have the intention to use it for good. I think that's the biggest thing. And what really impressed me about him is that, you have to make this mental commitment. And, he's very soft when he speaks, but very interesting, because what he talks about in The Secret and also in some of his videos, he talks about the fact that, you're a person and that you need to be able to ask for what you want, which I've said many times before. You go to the restaurant and we ordered food, right? Did I ask the server every 5 minutes, where's my order? Where's my order? Oh my gosh, where's my chicken? Where's my this? No, I expected the chicken, the flaming onion was going to show up. I think it was sandwich I ordered. Or the dessert. I didn't ask where it was. I mean, it came, right? If you keep doing like, oh my gosh, am I going to get the order? Am I going to get the order? Is he going to be my friend? Is he going to be my friend? Like you're putting doubt, and people can tell that you're doubting. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a problem. But you were saying something about gifts. And I realized many, many years ago, probably when I was in maybe even grammar school. And some people don't have this realization. And that is the fact that one of the most priceless things in the world is another individual, is a friend. And you might say, John, well, that's wacky, that's crazy, it's lame. No, it's not. Because what I realized is that friend, that person, got me to learn parts about myself that I didn't even know existed. So people help you open up compartments, I like to say, in your life that you might have never gone down if you didn't have the courage, if you didn't have the conversation. So I believe in life, Hurricane, there are no coincidences.
That's right.
There are just synchronicities that just sort of happen. And if you try to figure it out, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And you also have to give up the fact with, well, gee, I want it now. I mean, I understand you want it now, and I get it, and I respect that. So have the attitude, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful I'm getting it. Like, I'm grateful for that new pool. I may not have it yet, but I'm so grateful that it's on the way.
And again, you want it. You just got to figure out how much is it going to cost? What do I need to actually do to get it done? How long is it going to take me to get done? And you put a plan together and you get it done. That's it. But John, I'm sorry. I wanted to just throw something there.
Sure.
It's amazing because you're right. We both said coincidence at the same time, and it's really synchronous. Yeah, that's in sync, right? But like you watched the movie Matrix. I'm assuming you
yes.
did. So Morpheus did say, what happened couldn't have happened any other way, right? Or something to that liking. But really, the concept is things happen the way they're meant to happen when they happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can plan, you can change, you can do things, and I like what you said about the friends. You see, yes, when we said both of us about you believe in you, that's the first rule. But your circle, that is immediate circle of influence, is just as powerful on your life and what happens to you. that whether your spouse, your significant other, your family, your parents, your kids, somebody around you, and you have to choose and pick very carefully, because there are people that would want you to succeed, and there are people that would actually give you any reason to believe that you can't. And you need to know to be smart about that. Someone is constantly telling you like, what do you think about that? What makes you special? Well, you
don't have what it takes. You don't have the money. You don't have the resources. Yeah. You can't stop thinking like that.
As soon as someone starts saying all the can'ts and don'ts and why nots, guess what? They're not your friend. I'm sorry, but I'm blunt on this radio show here.
You need to say to them basically, hey, you're a little negative today. Like, what's going on? You're right. Like, and if it keeps happening, I don't want to hang around with you anymore.
Agreed. Well, so that's perfect. Thank you for that, because to your point, you have to be the power of positivity. Like I have this saying, be so positive that you can scare yourself and scare everybody else around you. Positivity can be very contagious, and I say it's really a drug. Get the drug. Positivity is a real drug. It's a real high.
It's addictive, and it won't cause you any kind of side effects.
The side effects is success, achievement.
It's achievement. Achieving is success, and is getting other people to see you as a sphere of influence.
And you know what? You will change lives, John.
Yes.
It doesn't fail.
You're bringing another thought to me. It's amazing how I didn't have any. By the way, this wasn't planned. This show is just off the cuff. I mean, we just basically, and I think this is the best way to do this, because we're just kind of natural at this. But what I want to tell you, there are two things that just came to my mind when you said that. One thing was, no one has the right. No one has the right to make you feel inferior about yourself. I don't care who they are, how close they are to you, because you have to make the acceptance to accept that statement or what they said about you. If you negate it, if you block it off, it's not going to have any effect on you. If your mind is being controlled by somebody like, oh, well, they said this. Okay, so they told you to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. Are you going to do that? Yeah, tomorrow, I guess I'll have to. and
that's not high enough. I'm just kidding.
it sounds, so crazy.
It is. But unfortunately, it is the reality of a lot of folks, because they are always looking at people and waiting for some sort of gratification from the others. Like some like, they getting almost like endorsed by the other's opinion or acceptance. And that's the other thing. You don't have to, like, even at work, you don't have to be liked.
No.
You therefore you get compensated. You give them what you need to do in exchange for whatever work that they agree to to give you a job for. At life is the same thing. You have friends, and your true friends, the people that really, really love you for who you are, they will appreciate it with your faults, with your, anything, your imperfect, person. It doesn't matter. They're going to want you for who you are and how you are. And they're going to support you, and they're going to be there for you. And you're going to be equally for them. And that's the thing. If you, if you adopt the attitude of positivity.
Two-way street.
It's two-way street, of course. I mean, there's no, we're not vampires. We don't just suck blood for people.
Well, some people do that. They have you have the hand. They just keep taking. And I like to say that that's like a bank account, an emotional bank account. I have a bank account. You have a bank account. So I do something nice for you. What does that do? Well, that takes from your emotional bank account and puts into my emotional bank account. Vice versa, same thing happens. So you wouldn't want to run your account negative. So same thing happens. There's a point where the bank says, okay, wait, we can't pay that. Sorry, you're $10 million in it. We can't pay that. Mm-hmm. But same thing happens in friendship. Like, when they say you stress friendship, that's when you're putting too much of an expectation on the person to do something when there hasn't been an equal give. And they feel like they're doing 150% of the relationship and you're only doing 20. Those are your takers. And
perfect. It's amazing. I had a show. I'm not sure if you've ever had the opportunity to meet, and do this particular show. It's the Givers University. And it was a pretty good, it's about, givers and takers, and really, really the balance. Are you a giver? Are you a taker? And that's an exercise that many, I mean, and I know you guys, you can check out the network and you can see the show. And John, I'll send you the link so you can see it.
Okay.
And you might even connect with I think, I forgot the name, EA. The last name is hard, but I'll send you the link. But really, really, it's a powerful dude, and with that great concept. But the fact is, when you do the exercise, are you a giver or taker? You need to know where you stand in that position, in that equation. And for me personally, I like to be a giver more than a taker, but I want to take a fair share. But I don't want to be just taking, like you said, like a mosquito, a vampire, just sucking blood and letting people dry. No, you have to. It's a give and take. It's a two-way street, right? In life, you have to contribute. You get like this.
It's a cycle.
Exactly.
Okay? So when I do things like if I do a donation, I'll say, hey, I'm not looking to get something. Like, hey, I'm doing all this stuff for you. Can you possibly, throw me a bone? Can you tell some people about me? Can you give me some promotion or something? And most people are pretty okay with that. But you get some people that are like, oh, well, I can't do that, or I can just. And then you just don't help those people anymore. You don't get upset with them. You don't call them names. You don't badmouth them. You just move on.
Well, you know what? That's exactly right. It's funny. You get one shot with me, you blow that shot, and it's over. You're just done. And I don't have to tell you. You will know because it will be the end of us. That's the end of it. I move on. Life goes on. With you. See. I always have this belief, you come alone to this world, you're going to live alone, right? At the end of the day, that's how it is. But that's just fact, of life, right? And you adopt. It's like, I mean, again, talking about that stage, right? If you're watching, if you go to a theater, right? And the stage is empty, and then you got actors that come in, they leave, they come back, different roles come in, they do their act, and they walk out. That's exactly life. You come from one side, you get the other side. And throughout this, you interact with people. Just make sure that you have a good impact. We're talking about double impact here. Have a good impact for people, and really contribute. See what we're doing here. For me, it's a legacy. Am I expecting something in return? Not the fame, not the stuff. What I want is really to have a brand, a name, something that will be left behind to teach people, educate, inform, whatever, give some resources to people, so if I'm gone one day, somebody could look back and say, hey, that guy was not just, a waste. He took, the stuff from this life and didn't contribute to life, and that's, John, I believe that you do the same here. You have been contributing to your businesses and stuff. Yes, you make a living. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing against, making a good living or making a living in general. And yes, again, you have to pay the bills. Unfortunately, nothing is free in this world, and you have to, take care of business. But the fact is, while you take, you give back. And that's a big, concept.
It's got to be a cycle, and it's got to be a balance.
Love it.
So you take, when you give, so like what I tell people, they want to make more money. I say, look, take the little money that you have and give it away. Are you crazy? No, give a little bit of that money away. And as you give it away, you'll see it'll come back somewhere else. You're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. So because it's the whole idea of, you're not living in lack, you're living in gain. And I think if we can embrace it, it's basically embracing a lifestyle, just like I embrace the lifestyle of, losing weight. But like, oh, you got to be nuts. You got to be insane. No, I could never do all that stuff. Well, I guess your why is not loud enough in life to do it. See, no doctor told me to do this. I made the decision because I wasn't even looking to try to look nicer. I was just trying to be comfortable in the car and not get hit. And then, yes, have a shirt fit nice. But the other thing was, that stupid iPhone was getting knocked. I'm like, oh, I hate this. Is crazy. I got to, and you're wondering like what's going on. But at the end of the day, my why was loud enough. And that was the fact that, hey, I want to be healthier. I want to have more energy. I didn't even know some of these whys. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm walking up the stairs now and I'm not out of breath. Huh. Wow, that's another great benefit. I like that. Or I like the fact
that's a nice side effect.
There's a lot of nice side effects where I'm having this like, John, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm having a sugar cookie. Yeah, but what are you doing? I'm cutting it in fourths. You're what? I'm cutting it in fourths because the cookie's 250 calories.
By the way, John, I do want, for the purpose of the show, I want to literally, I'm your witness. He does actually calculate his calories by the day. I mean, I've seen him do that, where he actually knows what he's going to eat because he knows he only got X amount of calories and he has a little bit of a room, and so he was able to indulge in some pastry with me. And so I can tell you, he has his app. It tells him how many he has, how many he's got left for the day,
Yeah.
and he can make it work.
So
you know
today
what?
I can just tell you. So for breakfast today, I just had I had a usual. I had some small orange juice. I had honey bunches of oats. Just like a quarter cup, 2% white milk, about a cup or so. Then I went to lunch. It's at the 7-Eleven because today was 7-Eleven birthday day for them, and so I got a 7-Up free Slurpee small, which was 160 calories, and I got a pizza 7-Eleven one slice with 270, 430, expensive lunch, and I still have 1358 to eat for dinner. So I'll probably make some fish. I might have a pudding pop or something, but I know, like, even when I had that cake, I knew, and I was still on track, and I think that's.
No. So sorry, go ahead, John.
No, that's the whole point, is that and you can't borrow from yourself. Like, you can't take a loan. Like, you can't, well, others. And if you want to bank something, okay, fine. Know what your bank is today. Like when I do, for example, there's a day where I'll do top cupcakes, and I travel around and do cupcakes. When I say that's expensive, it is. So I'm going to look at what my things cost me and how much each cupcake is going to cost me. 3 or 4 cupcakes is going to cost me 800 calories. So, I'm not going to eat too much that day. And, I even make a homemade Belgian waffle. That crap you get in the box is like, I don't know, it's got to be like 1,000, 1,200 calories, 1,400 calories for a big Belgian waffle. I make a Belgian waffle that's about 500 calories. I cut that in half, 250.
Still get the taste, you still get the experience, and you know what? You don't deprive yourself.
That's the whole thing. I mean, this Sunday, I wanted to go get, I felt like having a cone. So I went to our local place called Curly's, and I went there and I got a chocolate and white cone. I knew what it was going to cost, 160 calories. I did a video of it. I ate the cone, licked the cone, talked about how the cone should be wrapped tight so it doesn't melt all over the place. Talked about how I'm really savoring and enjoying that cone. And that was my lunch. But I had no desire to eat anything else.
Well, John, you're talking about all this. And, this leads us back to that discussion about achieving, right? And you know what? You set yourself a target to drop that weight for whatever reason there was. And you did it.
Now I have more reasons that I want to keep it off. It's funny.
There you go. And again, that's the point. So you're at a point where you actually know what you're expecting from yourself, and you're going to keep doing it because the end result is suitable. It's working.
Better skin, face looks better. Everything looks better. I mean, it's like it's a whole. I didn't expect all these extra benefits.
Well, again, and believe me, folks, sometimes you're it's hard in the beginning. It's not going to happen overnight.
It's extremely hard, and people are not always supportive of you. And look, I'm baking a couple days a week, and I'm still keeping my weight off.
There you go. Well, again, for our people out there, right? Achieving can be anything, whether it's your health, your wealth, your knowledge, whatever it takes, your family relationship, your friendship, your dreams, make them work. I mean, believe in them, achieve them.
Henry Ford said it best. Believe me, achieve.com. Henry Ford said it best. If you believe that you can't do something, you're right. And if you believe you can, you're also right. Claude Bristol Myers also said it very well when he was on a boat and he was, saying, he was an aspiring new author to be. And he's like, I want to have dinner at the captain's table. I'm going to eat dinner at the captain's table. So one night he went up to the restaurant, and the lady said, we only have one seat left. He said, well, okay, I'm not picky. And they brought him all the way up to the front. He was sitting at the very first table. He didn't think anything of it. There were other people. He says, well, there's a lot of other people at this table. And the captain comes by and says, good evening, how are you? And he knew his name. It's Claude, nice to see you. He says, oh, thank you, Captain. Nice. Thank you for stopping by. He says, oh, no, thank you. I mean, thank me. Thank you for being a guest. You're a guest at my table tonight. Thank you so much for being my guest. Oh, I want to talk to you about your book. And you don't realize how these things happen. I think it's a matter of, like you said, the synchronicities, it's the place, it's how things go. And I think it also, if you're doing something for the greater good of others, even if you're knocked off that, let's call it that chair or that slope, because people say, oh, you're always there, you're always doing this. But if you're doing something and you're giving value, you're going to start to see that your haters might drop away. Wow, look at the stuff he's doing. Wow, first I was posting like, can you stop posting so much? Like you post like 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Can you stop with all this junk? Junk? Yeah, we have a limit on how many you can post a day. I said, I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing. No, I know, but we're getting complaints. Now we don't get complaints anymore. We don't get people praising every post, but we get people that I always say, if you want to do something in life, you've got to learn that you're doing something for you. Okay. And you have to feel good about that and know the reason you're doing it. And so don't look for a pat on the back from other people, because you're going to be disappointed every time. If that pat or that back rub comes, great, accept it. But don't look for it. Create your own pats on the back, your own back rubs, get your own little cheap dollar back scratcher. I
got one of those.
So create your own fun. A lot of times, maybe alone, I want to do something. And I go treat myself. I go, what'd you do? I'm like, I went out for a steak dinner. With who? Me, myself, and I. Wow, that must have been an expensive bill. It was, but they actually gave me a 1 for 3 price. Like, oh. And they said, where'd you get that? And they're like, you just wasted all that. I said, no, I treated myself to an amazing dinner. Oh. And I don't know if they feel jealous or they feel like they don't feel like, so that's the thing. If you don't feel you're worthy, this is really important. If you don't feel you're worthy, okay, of making the $1 million or the $50 million, guess what? You're going to make the $1, the $2, the $5, because you don't believe you're worth it.
Powerful stuff.
When I started adapting that attitude, not in a smug way, and I went to some of my clients and I said to them, and they're on the fence. I say, sir, I said, it's been a pleasure, meeting with you. I said, if you want to proceed, please reach out to. Well, what are we doing? I said, it appears that you probably don't want to go for it, and that's perfectly okay. A lot of people I talk to can't afford my services. What do you mean? Well, I'm 3 times more expensive than your probably closer competitor, but I also do work for Wall Street, so I get it. I might be a little out of your price range. It's okay. Just go find one of the smaller companies. They'll probably do just as well. And then when you suddenly tell them that they can't afford you, or you tell them in a nice way that, maybe we're not in the class of service that you want. We're used to servicing a higher clientele. They start to analyze or change. And then I use another one. I say to people like, and we're 3 times more expensive than your closest competitor. And that's exactly why you should take us. And they're like, what? Cash, check. And so I think it's about belief. And when you walk into a store, when you walk into a client, and when you have that mentality, I don't care if it's on the phone or it's in person or it's on stage at a professional stage or in front of a camera or just in your world. I mean, when I went to the police station, you guys know that I did something for the police station on ice cream cake day. People thought I was nuts, Herky. I went to DQ and I asked Dairy Queen to donate a cake to me. Of course, they said no. I said, do you know who I am? No, I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. You don't know the views I get. No. Do you are you even on social media? I don't have time for social media. My wife and I have 4 kids and I don't have time for that crap. Oh, I run one of the busiest stores in the state and I don't have time. I have so much work. Oh, I walk in there to pick up the cake, which my company designed. And I see 4 kids just standing there with their arms folded. Now he's the busiest store in the state. He's got 4 kids with their arm folded, just waiting for somebody to come in the store. I'm like, doesn't seem, but I don't try to win these people over. When somebody says to me, I only ask once, Erkin. I ask once. And so then I went to do something nice. I went to the police station and I did something that was a little borderline. Now I'm a first responder. I use the buttons to open the doors, because how am I going to open the doors with this great big sheet cake? And I did something you probably shouldn't do unless you have a good relationship with your police department. I walked in there and I started filming with my camera. I'm like, hey guys, this is John. Listen, I have a surprise for you here. I am recording. Hope that's okay. It's a nice surprise. Well, what kind of surprise? Well, it's a good surprise. Okay. And then they come out and they look at it and they're like, oh, thank you. And 2 or 3 days later, I get a letter in the mail, and I joke with people. I said, that letter was either a warrant for my arrest or a thank you letter. Now, if it was a warrant, they probably would have came after me a lot sooner than 3 days later. So I'll
be serving it.
I was betting that it was probably a thank you letter. And I got a letter from the chief of police, who I know. And he says, John, you're always so thoughtful and so courteous. And thank you for thinking about our squad on so many occasions. We wish you and your family the best the rest of the summer.
Beautiful.
So that in itself may not have done anything for me. Not that I speed, but how many people can say that they're friends with their police department? Not too many people. Being a first responder is a help, obviously, but they're picky about who they're friends with. They don't want to be friends with people that are going to cause problems.
Yep. Or leverage the relationship in the wrong way.
Right. They don't want to go the wrong way. And, you can have a conversation. Well, gee, that was a real mess. What happened? Yeah, it definitely was. I don't even tell you what happened last week when we went down that place. And they know they can trust you. So I think that's the whole thing. But just doing that community thing, it felt really good giving that cake. I mean, it would have been nice if the store donated it, but they didn't. And it felt good to do that. Friday, by the way, this week is National Give Something Away Day. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make a few promos for people, and I'm going to just give them away and say, hey, I'm here and I'm on camera and just wanted to record this to you and let you know that we're giving away today's National Give Things Away. You can tag us on Instagram, and see what people think. And I'm not doing it for any money. Of course, you hope that people might follow you, but I think reputation comes from integrity. Mm-hmm. Okay. But it doesn't work the other way around.
John, I wanted to just to allude to the story about the DQ guy, the DQ guy. So it's funny because this is what I see. Sometimes people have very, very narrow vision. Or tunnel vision. They don't see the full spectrum. I mean, in life, like I have this joke. I literally wear 4 glasses, to front to the back, and then I switch them over.
Just sunglasses. That's it.
No, so like it's a joke. I have my I guess sunglasses on the front, and then my reading glasses or my Blu-ray glasses on the back. Okay. So one day, my wife just on a TikTok, she just joked with me. She's like, "Why are you wearing 4 glasses?" Like, I want to see the world in 4D. I got a 360 view, But the fact is, as a joke as it sounds, you want to have live in a full, not just 3D, a 4D or 8D. I mean, the full sensory, the full spectrum, right? And that, like, have it like on augmented reality if you wanted. Have it on a metaverse version. But the idea is see further. Some people don't see that opportunity. That cake cost them $10, $20, $30, even $50. But
must be a lot more than that.
All right, $200. Doesn't matter.
No, I think it cost me $50 or $60, but that cake can cost them $5 to make. Well, and it cost me my money because I had to pay my graphic designer that spent 2 hours designing the graphic for the logo for the cake that they had to design.
John, but what I was saying is that if those guys saw the value of what that 50 would have given them in terms of promotion, in terms of just exposure, right? The $50, you wouldn't even get a boost, on Facebook, right? That's going to last you long enough. You can't even get a mailer, send out for that. The postage would be probably, more expensive.
That video got a couple thousand views. And at the store, it got 500 and it got 1,000 at the police department.
And they could have gone, all the credits, but that just shows again, talking about believing, having vision and like I've done a lot of sponsorships with different companies and so on and so forth in my other work that I do. And, you see what that means to you. Like, when you do something in the community, you do it with businesses. And sometimes you ask for help from other businesses. Like we do events. And I would go to let's say a local pharmacy or whatever and say, hey, we want to donate some stuff. Can you give us something that we're going to raffle at this event? Oh, we'd love to do that. And it could cost them $200, $300, $500. Sometimes we get, tickets, for whatever, vouchers to do things, trips, whatever. And they'll sponsor that because they see the value that they're going to get in the community. Again, it's about having that vision. When someone has that attitude, well, who are you? I don't want. Okay, you know what? Guess what? They're missing on the boat because today's world, talking about influencers, talking about YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagram, folks, celebrities, people are looking for those folks to actually give exposure. Podcasters now are like the hottest thing in terms of when it comes to promotion, so some people are not there yet. That's unfortunate. They'll get there eventually, but sometimes they miss that boat, right? And then they're behind schedule. It's like, you're late to the station, the train left, or you're late to, like that picture with the cruise, like they said, the most expensive picture on the ship is the one where the ship is leaving and you're at the port waving by. Well, that's exactly what it is. Sometimes they miss the sailing and unfortunately it takes them a very expensive.
I know if I owned that place and somebody came into me and I saw what they were doing,
you will leverage
I might have looked online just to see if they had some views. Like they didn't have one view. I might have just looked at it. And if I saw they had some decent something, I was geez, that's worth it for me. It's worth, what's it going to cost me to make that cake?
That's my point.
$5.
Even $50, even the cost, it doesn't matter. It's still worth it, for the exposure and the experience that they're going to have. And just, listen, a lot of businesses would love to have the news come in and just to get a couple of seconds on an interview, right? On one of those channels. Well, this could be just equal to them, and that's the other thing. Some of these posts, they don't disappear. We had this.
No, they stay up.
They stay forever.
Exactly. They keep gaining traction.
And some of them, old ones, come up to the surface because somebody just picked them up and went viral. They don't see that. That's the thing. Again, this is me, or I can just there is no limit.
They have tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. Like, see this. This is a phone. Consider it a box. I always do the exercise. If I say put something, in the box, people are going to put it in the box. I don't know if you can see it. So if I say, take out of the box and take it out of the box, they're going to take it and drop it right here.
Okay.
But if there is no box, I can put this anywhere. You see, I'm
right. I always say we should destroy the box. We should get rid of the box.
No box. Exactly.
And there was a big influencer that I was on his show, and I said to him, I said, I don't work with boxes. I said, I smash the boxes. So he was doing a speech somewhere. He says, I want to share with you my own personal idea. And I didn't say anything. I never work with a box. I destroy my box. I said, great idea. Didn't say a word. They got that from because he used to say, to think I changed the whole thing. And then he decided that was his. And so I think it's important to give credit. I think that's really important. But like you said, some people aren't going to get it. Now, today, when I went there and they gave me the 2 free Slurpees, I mean, the lady saw it. She charged me for the pizza, which was okay. But I mean, they were excited. This is what I want to embrace. I want to embrace people like, oh my God, like the lady wanted to be on camera. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how many views are going to get you. They were excited. So I think what gets people to, I don't want to say just follow you, but causes an action or a reaction is an excitement. So if we can create that kind of excitement in a small group, and then they tell their friends, and bam, it just explodes. Well, now we have something that's blowing up all over the United States. Well, because that's how Hands Across America worked, right? So I think it's about having that good attitude. And you're going to get people all the time. I get my parents like, oh, why are you wasting your time with all these stupid days? Well, okay. And you can't let that get to you because, or the fact that well, what are you doing? You're baking every day. I'm like, yeah, I bake almost every day. Well, why are you doing that? That's expensive to do that. Why would you do that? Well, it's fun. I'm sharpening up my baking skills and I'm posting video. Well,
Invest.
That's a stupid idea. So I talked to my guy. I said, technically, this food I'm buying because I'm promoting, I can basically deduct it. I mean, it's a business expense. I'm using it to promote my channel.
That's right. Again, you're investing in your whatever your mission is. You're investing in it. It's your time. It's your value. It's your money. It's your skills.
So when I went to that, I went to a chocolate place, this chocolate place not too far, one town away, and it was fudgy. So I figured I'm gonna have to spend for chocolate $5-10 worth. I went there, picked the fudge I wanted with the caramel. She gave it to me. I was doing the whole video, did the whole thing, yada yada. Asked her for the Instagram, all their stuff, and then I picked it out of my pocket. I said, "Well, what do I owe you?" She said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're doing that. Don't worry about it." I mean, that's a good attitude. It didn't get hundreds and hundreds of views, but like when I do the cupcake thing, I don't know if they're all going to charge me, but it's like, "Oh, you're doing that? Yeah, just forget the cupcake. It was $3. Just forget it." See, that's what I would expect because I'm doing something nice.
Well, John, you're doing something nice. You're doing something to bring value to the people
and to their business.
And well, I'm talking people in general, whether they're the business, everybody's getting some piece of what you're doing, whether through the actual exposure to your channel and your Instagram and your social, or directly
now TikTok.
And TikTok. There you go. Now you TikTok. But the fact is, these are things that you're doing small now, and believe me, they will take traction and they will blow up. It's just the time. And that's the other thing. You have to be willing to ride the wave, until you get it's like surfing, right? You got to keep trying until you get the nice one.
Yeah, that wave's tough. I know.
And when you get the nice one, it's a sweet ride from there. It's just like you got to cruise that thing. Well, again, same thing here. You got to do this. You got to do this. But
you and I have been doing casting for a while. Like, I started in the audio world. I was on Blog Talk many, many years ago. Had a little bit of a challenge because my show did very well. And then I got bought out. I think I told you the story. I got bought out by a large outfit. I didn't get one penny. The station got $3.5 million and I got nothing. Ooh. So that left a sad taste in my mouth for a little while. And I went away for a while. And then something spurred up of you. I said, let me start this again. And then but then it got bigger where I wanted to create more. I never saw myself as a content creator. Even though I love to do video, I never saw myself as a content creator years and years ago. Now it's like I live to create content that's energizing, engaging.
You had it all along, John. I mean, you did it. You had a bad experience. And, sometimes you get that little tase or whatever, like a little trauma, temporary, and then you get over it. And you know what? Now you're coming back in full force and better than ever. And that's the bottom line. That's how you see it. And you know what? In a year, 2 years, maybe less, who knows? These people will be like, damn, we should take care of this guy, but you never know. He
said to me, you're too good not to catch on. He says, don't worry. He says, someone else will catch on with you somewhere else.
And you will. And it's happening. That's the bottom line. And again, believe in, right?
You got to believe, you got to achieve it, and you got to be positive about it. And then I tell everybody like what we're doing, like we're working on a whole thing. So we're doing the cupcake day that's coming up. I forget when it is, National Cupcake Day. So I decided that for National Cupcake Day, I was going to just pick one place. I was going to go to like 5-6 places. Remember, I got to eat all these cupcakes, or at least I'm a part of them. So I don't want to eat too many. And what I want to do, to be fair, it's December 15th, by the way. So we got a little time, but I'm going to visit like 4 or 5 of the top cupcake places in our area. And what I'm going to do, because I say I'm going to pick the best cupcake place, what I'm going to do though, I'm going to go to each place. I'm like, so the place that I liked for design is Mike's and such and such. The best cupcake texture I have to give to Mindy's. The one that had the best flavor has to go to Joseph's. And the overall best cupcake concept, being more than just a cupcake, has to go to Brenda.
Well, you know what, John? I love the idea. So here's what you need. I guess suggestion is, listen, you reach out to all those folks, all these groups, and you put them into a little bit of a competition and see how it is. Everybody's going to get in, they enter, and then you basically do an evaluation to all of them. Just like one of those things, when they taste the different, flavors, and they just, hey, number 1, number 2, number 3, different.
And I could do that with restaurants too. I could say, hey, John's going to go around and taste. I wanted to taste ribs tonight. I could do anything. It's
like the Academy Awards for cupcake.
I love it because it's just, there's so many possibilities.
And listen, that stuff is contagious. You start with those, and I know every day you do something different. And folks,
tomorrow's National Jell-O Day. I'm also going to do French Fry Day.
Nice. Well, hold on, John.
Go to a couple French fry places.
Hold on, John. Well, I wanted to say, just guys, obviously we're coming to the end of the show today, but this is going to be recurring, and this is going to be just like this. It's raw, it's uncut. There is no. It's real. It's not rehearsed. We just go.
No, we don't. We didn't even know we were going to talk about that. It's just basically going to be like our lives. We just replace the guilty and the innocent, so you guys can't tell who they are. But it's basically about things that happened in our lives where we replace the characters' names. And
that's right. And
we'll talk.
We'll talk about things that you probably are probably dear to you, or things things you don't know, things you might wonder about. And by the way, John is super creative with this stuff. I'm telling you. I mean, next time we're gonna be talking about his Starbucks, and we're gonna talk about, and again, nothing against them, but we'll talk about his experience and what he discovered with them and others.
The Illuminati.
So we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. And by the way, some of these things may be touchy, but again, it's for entertainment purposes, but for your own knowledge. As we say, you have the right to know. You make up whatever you want out of it, right? Blue pill, red pill, as they say. You choose.
keep the lesson that you like, what resonates with you. If it doesn't, just like the tarot readings, this is a general show. Yeah. Keep what resonates with you and just throw the rest to the side. We won't be offended. But what we would really love, Hurricane and I, is if you're having a challenge in your life, is there something that's really keeping you up at night? Because we don't want to keep you up at night. Is there something that's keeping you up at night that you just want to know the answer to? Don't ask me the meaning of life. I'll tell you that really quickly, but we want something more than that. And we'll have a debate about it. We'll talk about it and kind of give you our tips. And I think we'll give you an entirely new perspective and one you probably never heard of before. So our show is a little raw in the sense that it's not planned other than the times. And, we try to give you wholesome entertainment that is just going to tell you the truth. So if you're looking for somebody that's going to, stroke your ego, we're not the guys for you. We're going to tell you the way it actually is.
Listen, we got to do that. We got to do good cop, bad cop policy as well on this show. We'll see how it plays too. We're going to pamper. We're going to see what's going on. The bottom line is you're going to have some fun, and you're going to have the information, the resources. And you know what? It might be opinionated. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, here's what I always believe in. Information is always available. It's free. Take it, absorb it, take what you want from it, juice it up, get the best out of it, get the vitamins, get the goodies, and then, discard the rest. That's it. This one thing that you learn on one of our shows, that's right,
might be the tip that changes your entire life. Now, that could happen at any moment, folks. So make sure that you have your drink and you're in a safe chair because we don't want anybody getting injured while watching the show.
Yeah, we're going to catapult you here in a different, dimension, right? Again, it's not for nothing that we call this double impact. So you will have impact. Whatever it's going to hit you, it's going to hit you somehow, somewhere. Now, again, we don't expect everybody to enjoy this or to like it, but we think that everybody would, just because it is for you. This is not about us. I mean, we do have our lives and we do our things like everybody else. And, but this is for you, for the audiences, for your entertainment purposes, your knowledge purposes. And we're just bringing, to you guys things that are from common stuff. Sometimes you just need to relate to some things that you've experienced, and maybe. And so we'll talk about all this stuff. Like I said,
and I have another one I want to share with you, which you'll hear in one of the shows, but not for a while. I'll be walking on eggs in a couple weeks. And we're going to talk to you about that experience where we have several crew members that are going to help me balance while I walk on a room of eggs. Can I do it without breaking an egg? We'll have to see.
I can tell you one thing. I've seen elephants stand on eggs, so you never know. But then again, there's a trick to everything, right? There's a science to it, and we'll keep that, as we as a surprise for that day. And so whenever
we have a lot of surprise.
Listen, this is going to be just as fun. And
we have a great thing to celebrate today. Today is July 11th. Well, depending on when we're actually airing, depending on the date, but the day we actually go live and air, that'll be our birthday mark. So the following year, which will be 2023, we'll be celebrating our first birthday.
Oh, I like it.
And I'm thinking it might even be with a cake and in person.
Oh yeah, well, we the in-person piece is definitely happening eventually. So both John and I on both sides, on his media and my media, We will be eventually opening up, larger studios where we can actually have audiences and things. So just stay tuned for those things coming up, in the near future. Again, talking about achieving and believing, this is exactly what it is. We believe in what we're doing, and we believe that they're going to be, out there, and we're going to achieve whatever.
And we're both living proof that when you put your mind to something with passion, creativity, and an energy to help others, the world becomes your oyster.
John, I just want to add one thing to that, and I'll leave you the last word. But here's the thing, folks. Really, helping others, such a beautiful thing. I just literally, when I know that somebody got something out of whatever I do, it is such a pleasure. I don't know. It's just some sort of feeling that is amazing. And when you do, you will enjoy your life much better.
It causes the dopamine in your brain to get released, and you'll have a natural high that you won't get pulled over for.
I like that. Well, you have your friends. It's all good. You got a PBA card there somewhere? All right. Well, so John, I'll let you close today's show. So what do you got for us?
All right. Well, Hurricane, this was a pleasure. And all of you guys definitely follow us and tell your friends, colleagues, and associates of all ages to watch our show, comment, and come back again, because we have some great information. And together, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And this is Hurricane. And together we are Double Impact. Until the next show, everyone.
Ciao, ciao. Bye now.